Hi everybody. Today we're going to do a girl in a pink dress with a pretty background, and it's going to be feminine and soft and very light pink, and I think I might even use glitter. So I have a big brush. I want to mix a base color for the background, and I'm using a lot of white. So I'm just going to take a big old scoop of white times 2.5 and I'm just gonna touch into my red and just have a little dab of this. I'm just gonna make a really nice soft pink color. That's pretty. Alright, I'm going to use a smaller brush that has a little bit of a chisel to kind of chisel around some of the outside lines. I'm kind of using this to trace. Alright, so I'm going to just do one side at a time. Just going to fill in with this pretty light pink color. And if it's got a little streak to it, that should be okay. You can sometimes just blend it on the canvas. But sometimes imperfections, you can't really recreate them. So I'm going to have kind of a festive-y little background here. So I'm thinking some of these colors are just going to fade in anyway. But we just want to provide a really nice soft background. Now I drew this on before we actually started, and sometimes I like to see my direction before I go. But whoops. But if you kind of deduce it to simple shapes, basically we have a circle and another little circle. And then I just have two curves of the neck, and we just drop down. There's a curve right here for this, for the back of the dress, and then we just cut into where the line would be. And then of course the bottom half of the dress kind of flares out. We have going to be a shadow of where the spine is, as well as the shoulder blades. And that's pretty much the basic outline if you are following along and want to know. I would use pencil, and if you need to erase, you can. Use a light sketchy line before you really commit to like sinking that line in, because if you decide you don't like it, erasing is quite tricky. It doesn't always get out the pencil mark, at least on canvas or paper. It's just better to lightly sketch it out, and then when you feel you have really nice lines that you can work off of, then you can go ahead and just kind of sketch in darker if you need to. Depends on the background though too. And then we'll go ahead and just do the curve. Really pretty soft pink color. I'm going to try a bokeh style effect for the background. Just pretty and glittery, and I don't know, it might feel like prom, but it's just a nice pretty event. I'm thinking maybe for Valentine's Day, just to try to capture that moment that you love. And it's super girly too. So, alright, I have pretty good background lines going on in here. I do want to paint my sides. It's always a good idea to get in the habit of painting your sides. And it just takes a second to just swipe a little bit of the color on there. All right, now you could even add another layer of pink. Sometimes canvas likes to repel the paint, so if you want just a little bit more of a solid color, a second layer is always good to have. And I'm still using the same color, although when it dries, it seems to dry a little different than when it's wet. If you've ever painted a wall in a house, sometimes the shadows make it look like it's a different color, even though it's the same color on a different wall. Okay, a nice soft background. Now I want to kind of do some bokeh things, and I think what I'm going to do is mix in a little bit more of the red to a part of my white. I've done about 2 dabs. And I also want to just kind of use a little bit of water. And if I touch my finger into the water and then the paint, I can kind of create these little circles. You want to get them quasi-proportionate. I'm just making some smaller, maybe even slightly lighter ones. The background is still wet, so if you keep kind of moving your finger around, it will blend in and soften it up. Alright, I'm going to wipe off my finger, maybe even rinse it a little bit, and then add a little bit of water and touch into a little tiny bit of white. We're going to do the same thing, maybe even overlap. Nice and soft. I'm going to get a little stronger with the white and overlap some more. Alright, so I think I have a pretty soft background. I want to add a little bit of bling to this. Oops, I think that one's too wet. Add a little. Just when you think you're done, you're not. That's okay, take your time with it. Just make it nice and kind of sparkly the best you can. And seems to be overlapping really is the key to kind of trying to make this technique. And playing with the consistency of the water versus just using dry paint, although a little easier when it has a little more water to it. So I have some kind of white glitter, and it kind of has an iridescentness to it. Right now, I guess it kind of just looks like sand, but it does have an iridescentness to it. And we just want to break open. And I'm going to add a little to my palette, although if you're wondering, it's just wax paper. It seems to be a nice, quick and easy palette. And let's see, I think I want to use a medium round brush for this. And I want to use some Mod Podge, or glue works too. So I'm going to take a scoop or two scoops of my Mod Podge, and I want to kind of start mixing that in. Well, maybe we'll take about 3 scoops. But we just want to mix this in. When you mix either glue or Mod Podge, it kind of contains your glitter so that it doesn't get everywhere, and glitter can get everywhere and then also shed too. But when you mix it with this, it becomes glue and it goes on white, but then it dries nice and sparkly. So I'm kind of just creating little circles here and there. And get kind of thick with this so that the glitter sparkle sticks. And we won't really see anything until this dries a little bit later. And then when the sun captures it, it'll be nice and sparkly. All right, you might be able to see some of the sparkles as you're working. I don't know if you'll see them on the camera, but if I see kind of the wet spots, then I know that's where my glitter is. Just a couple shiny little bits in the background. And it's really up to you how much or how little you want to use. You can also use different colors of glitter. I just wanted to keep the background really soft so that my foreground will pop forward. And I haven't really decided on the dress. I mean, I'm blonde, so I'm going to paint her hair blonde. But if you're painting at home, you can paint brunette. It's up to you. Skin is a lot like makeup, so that's changeable too. We'll go over that. And basically, we just want to kind of let the background dry. Work it however you feel you want to work it. Soften it, use more glitter. It's really up to you. You can always add more later too. But just enough to sparkle in the background. Sometimes you can't tell until it dries fully to see if you even want or need more. But sparkly is good, especially for this particular background. All right, so now that I've got that, we need to maybe paint the base of her dress. But I haven't decided if I want gold, kind of a yellow gold, possibly even copper. Haven't decided. I know she's going to be blonde, so I need to get a little bit of some yellow paint. And maybe just a little bit of brown. All right. So I have kind of a raw sienna or very light yellow. I also have kind of a deep yellow or a king yellow. It's a little bit of a brighter one. And I have kind of a reddish brown. And of course white. All right, don't need a lot of brown, but if you have brown hair at home, you could omit the yellow, add the brown and black. You could even give it a slightly reddish tinge to it, or, you know, use the yellows and the whites to give yourself highlights. Now, if you have black hair, gray would be a good highlight. It's a little trickier though. You want to blend it in just so it has a slight, the gray becomes a highlight, but you can also use browns as well. You just kind of have to play with it. Maybe that will be a separate video. All right, so I've got my white, and I'm going to touch into that raw sienna. I'm going to mix it together. So I've got about a scoop of white and a touch of the raw sienna. And I'm going to use this as the base. Now it's a light enough color where I could see my pencil marks. All right, so that's a good base color. Let that dry a little. I'm going to touch into just yellow. Just kind of give it a warmer hue. Now the paint's still wet, so this is going to kind of soften and blend. You don't need a lot, just a little. All right, let's see, maybe a little bit of brown. Oh, that's a little too much. That's okay, I'm gonna wipe off my brush and pick up a little bit more of my base color. And we'll just soften that up a little. And of course you can have any hairstyle you want. Yeah. I'm gonna add just a little bit of white. Just streak a little bit of that in there. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And then we can even add gold and maybe even a little bit of gold glitter. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We could think about maybe putting a pin in her hair, or maybe a flower, or maybe we can even glue a flower on there for three-dimensionality. That works too. Still haven't decided on the dress. I was originally thinking like a hot pink, but I'm not sure if I want to do like a hot pink or gold. Maybe I should stick to my original plan. All right, we want to mix the skin colors, so maybe this could be a separate tutorial. I will do that in another video. I'm going to just paint the skin tone for this one, and then we will maybe do another video with just skin tones, maybe even hairstyles. Don't know yet. We'll see if time can avail. All right, so I want to kind of create a light kind of peachy tone, and for this you want to take a scoop of white and a little touch of yellow, like the smallest little touch, and a very small touch of red, even smaller. So touch it, dab it off somewhere else, and then you can go ahead and mix it together. So basically what you're creating is a very, very, very light orange. It does kind of have a bit of a peach tone to it. But here's the thing, it's a very fine balance, and it is technically more yellow than red. If you get too much red in there, it will turn pink. If you get too much yellow, you know, your person's going to have jaundice. So it's really just a fine balance. It's a very soft orange, basically. So, of course, you can add other pigments to it. This is just kind of technically a porcelain pink. And so I'm just using this for the base. And you can actually see the pencil marks underneath, so that's good that we're not going to be losing them. And then we'll just go ahead and fill in. I might need a smaller brush to get the details. I'll just get a smaller brush. Alright, and I'm just kind of softening up the paint just to make sure that there's no clumps and that it's got a pretty good base. We're just going to let that dry too. I don't know, for the dress I was really kind of vibing pink, so maybe we could take pink and add gold to it. I don't really know. I'm just trying to get this arm, it's just being really stubborn. I could do blue, it could be like Cinderella. Maybe that'll be another video. Alright, so we're just going to let that dry. Again, if you have other skin, I think I'll do another video of that another time. Probably soon, so when you're watching this, you shouldn't have to wait too long. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make the dress pink. I was really vibing a darker pink, and I'm going to clean off my medium round, and I want to take maybe a scoop of white, not a big scoop, just a little scoop, and maybe a scoop of red. Let's see, kind of looking for a hot pink color is what I was envisioning. So I do indeed have a hot pink color. Really want to make sure my paint is all mixed up nicely. And I want to use another small brush so I can get those little grooves or pointy areas. And we're just going to outline where the dress is going to go. Alright, and I'm still going to continue to use my small brush to get a nice line to the outside. Okay, I like that. I think the pink is nice contrast. Nice and feminine. And this is going to be around Valentine's time, so you could even add pink hearts in the background too. You know, not too late. Maybe I'll do that. And then of course I'm just filling in the dress. I haven't really quite decided how I want to decorate the dress. I think it's great that we finally actually have the color. All right, I'm just kind of flattening out my paint so that it stays on there. Quickly do my gallery wrap. All right, so I think it'd probably be a good time to just let everything dry. Let's think about how we want the rest of our background to be. And yeah, so just let it dry. So I've let everything dry. I did do a tutorial on skin tone as well as hair. So I kind of squirreled on that one, but it was to benefit you guys. All right, so I've let everything dry, and you can kind of see maybe some of the sparkles. I don't know if you could see them yet or not, but they're there. I might actually even add some more gold sparkles. I haven't quite decided yet. So in the tutorial, you saw me do the different hair. I haven't done the skin yet for this one, so I need to remix my color. For my base. And then I want to add a little touch of brown to this. So I can get a shadow in there. And I just want to kind of soften those shoulder blades. I don't want them too protruding. And maybe just a little shadow right under the arm. Sometimes I find when you use your finger, it helps kind of blend in. And it'll be a little bit darker here on this shoulder. All right, ever so slight. That feels just a little too dark, so I'm going to just take a paper towel and just kind of soften it. And then we can create a little bit of a highlight on this side. And I'm just adding a little bit of white to the previous color mix. You can need more on that. All right, I think I want to use a little bit of a gold for the hair. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of gold. A lot of bit of gold, but it's okay. This particular gold goes on a little darker and then dries a little bit lighter, but I want to mix it with a little tiny bit of yellow. Just so when it dries, it's more of like a king's gold. Ooh, that's too much. I'm just gonna wipe it out completely. Since I let it dry, it should be a no big deal thing. But I want to add just a little tiny bit. It should give a little bit of sparkle. Still haven't decided what I want to do for my dress. Maybe a little bit of gold, maybe a little bit of sparkly gold. Let's see. I do have some gold glitter, and I do have some Mod Podge still. I'm just going to put it right over where I used my white glitter. And I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to mix in a little bit of Mod Podge. A little bit of gold glitter, swirling it around. And we'll add this to the hair and give it a little bit of a sparkle to it. Maybe she got those little extensions that you can put in your hair that just bring out a little tiny bit of bling. Like tinsel or something. It's pretty. But just a little tiny bit in the hair. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to help kind of glide this and distribute it a little bit more. Got a little clumpy, not loving that. Alright, so I'm just softening it a little. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe her bodice could be gold. Maybe we'll drop it down. Kind of a point. Maybe. Kind of a little V right here in the corner. I'm going to go back to the mixture that I added for the hair. I'm just going to start to create some little circles. I don't know, I just kind of felt inspired, so bear with me. You could decorate your dress however you would like. It does not have to look like this. You can also pick whatever color you would like. I think a light blue Cinderella color would have been pretty. But I still already have the gold and the gold in the bodice, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. I think maybe we'll add a little bit more yellow and some gold, and we'll do that kind of for the base of the skirt. Try to get it like a tulle kind of. Just going to add some little lines. I'm going in the contour of the dress. And I think we can go back to our sparkly glitter, although I think I need to make a little bit more. We'll make this a little bit thicker. Now it does go on a little bit, well, it's like glue basically, so it's going to go on a little pasty, but then when it dries, the glitter should dry separately. And then we'll add maybe a little bit more glitter to the dress. Just a different kind of gold glitter. Trying to get pretty thin lines, although not always easily achievable. Okay, it looks like it's starting to dry. That's pretty. All right. So I'm thinking maybe we can even add some of the gold glitter to the background. I think I might need to mix a little bit more. That way we can see more bling in the background. We'll probably even add silver too. But right now I'm just gonna mix in a little bit of gold. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the circles just like I did in the beginning. And they might be overlapping the other shiny parts. I don't fully see them at the moment, so just more bling in the background. And you know, maybe she has a little bit of body glitter, so let's just add a little along the shoulder. Or maybe there's confetti falling from the ceiling because it's a party. I don't know. Paintings tell stories. Sometimes you could just make up one. All right, I'm gonna let this dry for now, and then I think I'm gonna outline it. I'm gonna look for some bedazzly jewels to see if I can accentuate this. So I'm gonna let this dry for now. All right, so I wanted to look for some jewels that I might have had in my little box of tricks, and I did find some, and I did decide that I wanted to create a bit of an earring. So I am going to use glue to glue down these earrings. And then I think I'm going to give her some wispy little feathery bangs. You're not really going to see the other side where the earring is, so I think I'm going to leave it. Now these are peel and stick, but I'm peeling, sticking, and making sure it stays with glue. Alright, so we'll just let that one dry. Again, if I put another one over here, it might look a little weird. I think it'll look a little weird. And we'll just keep it on the one side. Alright, so I'm going to go back into my hair color that I made, and I think I probably need to add a little more base. And I think I probably want to get maybe a light or a tinier brush. Now, let's see. Oh, right. Yeah, that's tiny. Okay. So I'm just going to pick up my base color. I'm just going to let some of these little smaller hairs just kind of fall off to the side. Probably even do that for this side too. And I can go into some little bit more yellow. And just give it a slight highlight. And really any of those other colors that you used in your hair. So if you're doing a different color hair, you can do that. And then I still have some glitter, so maybe add a little bit here and there. right, now the earring kind of makes sense because it's covered on this side, but yeah. So now I feel we want to kind of outline it, and I want to use a soft brown, so I'm going to just take a scoop of brown and a scoop of that color and mix it together. Just going to be a really soft outline with a very fine line. And if you're doing a different skin tone, you can change it accordingly. But I'm just going to lightly outline where her shoulder is. And maybe even a little bit of the hair. Nope, I don't want to do that. We'll just leave it at the shoulder. Alright, you guys, there you have it. There is this sparkly, cute little dress, and it sparkles. Now again, you can create your dress however you want. You don't have to even add glitter. I just thought I'd bling it on and add a little bit of a feminine touch. But that's what we have. So come around it. You could even actually glue flowers in the hair if you wanted to. That is a possibility. She could be holding a bouquet, so you can you can hold them here. Anyway, you can have lots of fun with this one. You could change the color scheme, you could change the hair color, the hair style, you could change the skin, you can change the background. This just serves as a base, but it's a fun, pretty painting.